Would you like to hear a story? My story today is about a little panda called Preston. The story is called The Enchanted Suitcase, Preston's Christmas Surprise. Preston has a suitcase. His Auntie Pat gave it to him for his 6th birthday, and he keeps it hidden under his bed. Auntie Pat is Mummy Panda's auntie. She wears a flowery hat even in the winter and Wellington boots even in the summer. She carries a wicker basket in one hand and a walking stick in the other. She wears a little pair of glasses on the end of her nose and always smells of peppermint. The suitcase is old and brown with worn-out corners and a rusty lock that clicks open when you press a button. It has lots of stickers from all the countries in the world that Auntie Pat has visited. When she gave it to him, she said, "Preston, you are a special little panda. I want you to have this suitcase for your birthday. It has taken me to lots of special places, and I hope it will take you too." She gave him a big smile and a wink, and Preston wondered why. He also wondered why she had given him a battered old suitcase for his birthday instead of a brand new train set or the rocket he had seen in the toy shop when they went out for the day. It was Christmas Eve and Daddy Panda tucked Preston up in bed while Mummy Panda was downstairs peeling carrots for Christmas dinner. Daddy read Preston a Christmas story, just a short one, as Preston was a tired little panda. Preston hung his stocking at the end of the bed. He needed to be asleep before Santa arrived, so Daddy gave Preston a kiss and turned off his lamp. "Good night, Preston, sleep tight," whispered Daddy, and Preston closed his sleepy eyes. The suitcase under the bed made a noise. Preston opened his eyes, felt a little frightened. Taking the head torch from his bedside table drawer, where he keeps all his special things, and strapping it round his head, he carefully leaned over the side of the bed. Hanging upside down, he could see the suitcase rattling and buzzing around. Its lock clicked and started to glow. Now feeling excited, Preston carefully jumped off the bed, dragged the suitcase out and nervously clicked open the lock. And a magical golden sparkly glow filled the room. Preston was dazzled by the beautiful light. He looked inside but couldn't see much. He leaned in a little further and then a little further. And then suddenly he found himself falling deep down into the glowing suitcase. He twisted and turned and tumbled and swirled through a tunnel of stars and sparkles. "Whee!" screamed Preston with joy. "Whee!" And then suddenly he landed on his bottom with a bubble. He stood up, looked around and saw a big red door in front of him. Coming from the other side of the door, he could hear voices. Preston opened the door and tiptoed through. He looked around and was amazed to find a room full of toys, laughter and music. Preston remembered seeing a place like this in one of his picture books. He realised it must be Santa's workshop. "Hello," said a cheery voice. "My name is Elvira." Preston looked down and saw what he thought must be an elf. She was dressed in green and holding a screwdriver. "Have you come to help?" asked the elf. "I'm not sure," said Preston, "but I'd like to." Elvira handed Preston a green hat with a bell on top, a pair of green trousers, a green shirt and a pair of pointy red boots. Preston pulled on the trousers, but oh no, they were too small and they split. He pulled the shirt over his head, but it got stuck. He tried on one of the red boots, but it just sat on his big toe. tried the hat on. It just pinged off. Oh dear, said Elvira. Never mind, let's see if we can build some toys instead. She took Preston over to a little table and a chair, ready to build some toys. Preston sat on the chair, but he was too big and the chair collapsed underneath him. Oh dear, said Elvira, we'll have to find you something else to do. She led Preston through the workshop to a small blue door. Let's go and see if the reindeer need feeding, she said. She slipped through the door and Preston stooped down to go through after her, but he couldn't fit through. Oh dear, said Elvira, what will I do with you? I'm too big to help with anything, said Preston, sadly, feeling a little frustrated. Just then, Preston heard a loud, ho, ho, ho. He looked up and, rubbing his eyes in amazement, saw, who do you think? It was none other than Santa. All the elves cheered and crowded round. They were so pleased to see him. Elvira stepped forward and tugged at the bottom of Santa's coat. Santa looked down and Elvira called Preston to meet him. With a huge, excited grin on his face, Preston ran across the room. Hello, who are you? asked Santa. I'm Preston. Elvira is trying to find me a job to do, but I'm too big to do anything. Let me think, said Santa, stroking his fuzzy white beard and taking off his Santa hat to scratch his curly white head. I've got an idea. Follow me. Preston followed Santa to a large green door right at the back of the workshop. Thankfully, he could easily fit through this one. Preston walked into an enormous room and in the centre was a massive golden sleigh. I need you to help me load all the presents onto the sleigh. Ready for tonight, said Santa. Preston turned round and saw hundreds and hundreds of sacks filled with presents of all shapes and sizes waiting to be loaded onto the sleigh. Preston and Santa started to load the sleigh, and with a bit of sparkly magic, before Preston can say Merry Christmas, the sleigh was full. He was excited at the sight of the sleigh full of presents and was wondering if any were for him. Then Santa took out a megaphone and shouted, Dasher, Prancer, Dancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, Rudolph. Preston had to cover his ears. He heard heavy hooves galloping towards him. Preston backed into a corner as he watched the reindeer gathering excitedly round Santa. Santa patted each one on the head and gave each one a carrot. But then Santa saw that he had one carrot left. How strange, I wonder who's missing. He took out a list of reindeers from his pocket. Dasher, check. Dancer, check. Prancer, check. Vixen, check. Comet, check. Cupid, check. Donner, check. Blitzen, check. Rudolph. Santa looked round and couldn't see Rudolph anywhere. Rudolph, he called through his megaphone. Rudolph, where are you, boy? Preston heard a slow clippity-clop noise in the distance. The sound got closer and closer until a rather sleepy-looking reindeer appeared. And he had a big red nose, who plodded over slowly to the sleigh. Oh dear, what's the matter with you, Rudolph? asked Santa. Shoo! said Rudolph. I don't think I'm well enough to guide your sleigh tonight. Shoo! Oh dear, that will never do, explained a worried Santa, stroking his fuzzy beard and taking off his Santa hat to scratch his curly white head for the second time that night. Who will guide my sleigh through the snow, wind, rain and fog? Preston had an idea. Maybe I can help. And he switched on his head torch to show Santa. Bravo, clapped Santa, and he did a happy dance around the room. Santa asked Preston to help him get the reindeer ready for their busy night. So, the little panda helped each reindeer into their jingly-jangly harnesses and buckled them into their places at the front of the sleigh. Good job, clapped Santa, and did another happy dance around the room. Elvira arrived, carrying a big red coat, a scarf, a hat, and a pair of warm gloves. I think you might need these. Preston put on the warm clothes and climbed up into the front of the sleigh. Take this too, said Elvira, handing Preston a shiny silver whistle. What's this for? Asked Preston. It's so the reindeer can hear you if it gets too windy, said Elvira.